Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Wednesday, December the 27th, 2023. The markets did continue to move through the year-end process and continue to see some strong buying, a little bit more scattered about, but still some strong buying, particularly today within the NASDAQ. It came in via Tesla. And so we're continuing to see the rotation in and out of some sectors back into other sectors, et cetera, et cetera. Also, a big winner today, consistent throughout the day, was the Russell, which ended up pretty strong. Not overly, but maintained an upward bias for most of the day while the Dow went down and then went back up, and as did the S&P, as did the NASDAQ. Beginning with the NASDAQ today, I'm going to take a look at the 4-hour chart. I had mentioned yesterday that one of my thoughts has been that wave one of a minute wave one of minor wave 5. This is where minor wave 5 began. So minute wave 1 of minor wave 5 extended. And previously I had marked it down pretty low and kept it down there, and now have decided that just doesn't fit because it puts the wave minute 4 here, and all of this being minute 5 and being in its final. And I just started to have a problem with rectifying the fact that if the NASDAQ could finish its primary B wave run, then it would begin to go down, and it should be a quick sudden drop just to kick off the whole process. And while the S&P was more likely finishing up a minor third, needed to do a minor 4, and then still coming up in a minor 5th wave to again higher highs than what we will have seen at the top of that minor 3rd wave. So in order to kind of just make my adjustments, I have come up with that wave 1 is actually had extended, and that wave 3 is kind of working its way into in more of a normal fashion, but will likely not be as long as wave 1. I don't know that yet, but that's my initial feelings. Now, so if I place wave 1 here, and then we went through that very sideways chop back at the end of November, finishing up with kind of a move lower out of this sideways move. Granted, this was a higher high, and that was even a higher high than this one. But if I bring it down, it really does fit in terms of a small irregular going up to here, then an A and A, B, C, irregular, small, irregular wave 2. And that this was A and this was B, and then we had the C wave down, and for my minuet wave 2, or excuse me, minute wave 2. Now, having said that, that puts us in minute wave 3, which, as you can see, I've left it out there, but I've put it in parentheses, which signifies that it's not done yet. It's still out there, but it's not done yet. I think we're close again. Minuet 1, 2, 3, and 4 being left as they were, and that we're inside that minuet 5th wave. And within that, I believe we may have done now. And let me bring this now down to the 1-hour chart and open this up in here so we can see it. So there is minuet 3, minuet 4, and we have 1, 2, 3, small 4. And again, it poked its nose, went to a slight new high, but then nosedived. So again, a little bit, very little bit of an irregular. Coming down into a 4, and then we're starting in the 5. So possibly 1, 2, and then we're still in that 3rd. So that being the case, I've now connected for this subminuet wave 5. And so let me push this back out. so we can see all of our connections. Here we have the minuet wave 5, 1.618 would be at 17,372. And then if we come upside of here, the sub-minuet wave 5, first is 618, which is not the most common. So again, the most common is 100% equality, and that's at 17,264. So here we have where the minuet wave 5 of minute 3, the newly designated minute 3, is 17,372, and here we have for the sub-minuet wave 5, 17,264. So all in the hood. And that presents a nice little cluster that could complete the minute third wave. And then we get into a minute fourth wave, leaving a minute fifth wave again to complete the cycle. So opening this back up to the 4-hour chart and taking a look, what we have here is still that C wave, and the C wave 1.618, which is what's left now, because I'll just review it very quickly, coming down and reinstitute the one, the 100% is way down here. 16, yeah, way down, 16,552. And so because it was exceeded substantially, so we take it off. And no longer is valid, we take it off, and then we have what we have, 1.618 and 2.618, up above at 20,000. That would be a minor fifth wave, and that would be quite the minor fifth wave. It would surpass both of the Fibonacci irregular B waves. And that's going back and measuring the primary A wave down off of the all-time highs back in January of 2022. So putting this back up. So we have minor wave 5, its next fib level is 17,913. Now that's not suggesting that that's where the market is going to go. It's a fib level that would coincide with the minor fifth wave. The minor fifth wave has already surpassed the 100% level. So we're just going on the structure, and as the structure does finish up, there is a good chance that this is where this will end up, because if we're looking for minute wave 3 of minor wave 5 to finish up somewhere in this area and possibly as high as 17,272 up into that area, then we get a wave 4 and then a wave 5. What's to say a wave 5 could not really just kind of jump up and get itself up towards 17,900 or anywhere in here. So once again, when I bring this back down and I'm looking at the hourly chart again, and here we have, this is just all for this minute third wave. We have a little bit of a cluster right here again, sub-minute at 17,261, and minuet wave 5 at 17,272. So that's a little bit nice cluster. And then again, we would have the sub level up at 1.618 at 17,389 should they decide to give it a really strong push. Now again, tomorrow's Thursday. But I will say, we're back into not heavy duty. Those come out next week. But we do have some economic numbers that are going to be coming out on Thursday. Initial jobless claims, advanced U.S. trade balance in goods, retail inventories, wholesale inventories, and pending home sales. I'm not actually looking for anything, maybe initial jobless claims, to really kick anything off of the charts. So I'm basically looking for minute wave 3 to possibly pull in and complete in this zone, 17,265 to 275, we'll call it. And the 618 is sitting there as possible. It is possible that it may not only get to, it'll stop at that level. And again, moving back to here, the 100% has been cleared. And so we're up at 1.618. So 100 is like kind of in here. And it played around and it exceeded it, and I took it off as it clouds the picture. So that's kind of the NASDAQ. Everything else remains in line. We are kind of getting flat in the moving averages because this is more sideways with a slight upward bias at the end of the day. And again, opening this up, you can kind of see it does have an upward bias, but it just basically, oh, brother. I do finally have a new mouse, but it just kind of like wants to, that's what I'm looking for. You can see how the 100, the 200 are kind of flat. Even the 50s kind of headed to cruise and start to go this way versus going this way, even though that tended to be a strong close today. It did close at a new high, and that high being 17,130, which was resistance, but it doesn't look like it's going to contain things. We got to get to move higher. So that's kind of the picture for the NASDAQ, and we're still in alignment. There's the 8, there's the 20, there's the 50, there's the 100, there's the 200, all in alignment for a continuation. Now, eventually it's going to get very tired, and eventually it will come down. But right now, we're still working our way towards year end. So, and the more that I have to tell you, the more that this kind of happens, the more that I'm looking at that will end on a high. So Friday, I'll probably try to get it up as high as they can get it for whatever their reasons are, just to close out their books. And then we'll start the New Year's as we do many times, where we just kind of sell. Initially, I believe that and unless we're all the way up into that cluster, I don't really see how the market will be done with this. Initially, it may take another couple of weeks into the new year before it is all said and done. Over in the NASDAQ, here again, I've not made any adjustments to the labeling, but I'll just kind of take a peek here at the 4-hour chart, open it up. We're in a C wave, an intermediate C wave up, and what will be inside are 5 waves of minor degree. We're looking for the completion point of minor wave 3. So if we look at minor 1, 2, and up 3 is up here. Unfortunately, all these are the same color, and there's the 3 kind of tucked in between them. So let me bring that back down. Now let's take a look at that hourly chart. So we have 1, and there's the 2, the minute 2, minute 3, minute 4. We're in minute wave 5 to complete intermediate wave 3. And within it, this 5th wave is kind of extending out, but it again has reached its next level. S&P closed at 48.34, so I'm going to say that's a downtick. So it was trading obviously at 35. And if we go right in here, actually got to 48.36. We have resistance at 35. It got above, slipped back just below it. So there's a possibility. And again, what that is where minuet wave 5 would be equal to minuet wave 1. And so that comes in right at 35. And actually I have one above it. It's 30. It's 38. What is this one? Oh, it's just doubled up. It was actually 38. So that got pretty close, the 100% for this one. And then I have inside this, so for minuet wave 5, it reached, that was 48.35. For internal within minuet wave 5, it reached the next level. Right? I don't know if I'm counting this going 1, 2, 3, 4. It reached 48.38. So there's a strong possibility that we may have completed this minor 3rd wave. We have continued resistance at 48.48 and 48.58, and with another capping up here at 48.65, that would produce a pretty strong push in the S&P, which basically ends the day still at new highs, but only up less than 10. So it's kind of, I think, running a little bit out of gas up here. And while we may see a continued push, we may get up to that 48 level, I think we are very, very close to completing this minor 3rd wave, setting the stage for a minor 4th wave correction, which once again, we're looking for a move back into this area, because as Elliott continues to echo back out to us from history, the 4th wave of, say, of a minor degree will find its terminus, its endpoint within the price territory of the fourth wave of one lesser degree. And that happens to be minute. So that's this move right here. So even looking where we are, 48.38, we could drop back down again to 47.43. That would be a maximum move, but somewhere in between here. And so once that's complete, we will look to add our fibs, and we're going to have to go back to the 4-hour chart, open it up, and take it from here to here. And even if we're just doing it now, we're just going to take a look as kind of a guesstimate type of a deal. We're going to go here, and we're going to add just our fibs, and they're going to come in right up into here at close is 34.75. So you can see 382. Well, now we're moving down below 236. Bare bones minimum comes in right just below that 47.43. So it works and it fits with still having another rally phase. 236. Not that that's the best level. I mean, 382 is the most common. I just really don't see, maybe at the start of the year, a trip down to 46.72 when we still have that upside pressure coming in. So there is a possibility we get a pullback tomorrow and a rally Friday, and this gets all finished. And if this vanishes along with the NASDAQ, so be it. And then we would start the new year looking for the next larger move to fashion. But right now, we're not there. And so I'm continuing to look for upside. The levels I've just given. Support, again, 47.43, 47.35, 46.72 here in the S&P. The moving averages remain in alignment. We have the 8 pointing pretty, right, cruising right up with the market. And then we have, I don't need to be on the 4-hour chart. Let me go down to the hourly chart and make it a little bit clearer. So we have the 8 still and the 20 both cruising together. There's the 50, there's the 100, there's the 200. They're kind of starting to move flat with the market and the whole rally just running out of steam. Now, there's only so high these markets are going to go before everybody goes, oh, sold it, and then it moves up and they sell it, and moves up and they sell it. So, but again, they got to fill the orders. That's what they got to do. And I imagine that's going to go through pretty much Friday. And that's where I'm going to end it for today. Our next update will be on Thursday, Thursday, December the 28th.